The story begins on a rainy night. We see some men fighting some assassins. The assassins had already killed a lot of people. The leader of the men asked them about how long they are going to keep attacking them. The assassins ignored the man and charged at them. The men raised their blades and fought to defend themselves. 3 assassins charged at the leader. They told him that he is going to die. The man easily tore them apart. Although he was able to take care of the assassins, the leader knew that they were still too much. He called the assassin bastards. He knew the people who sent the assassins to him. He could not believe that they would stab him in the back after he made a deal with them. He looked at the carriage behind him and promised to protect the person inside. The man asked his subordinates to hold on with everything they have. He assured them that help is on the way. The moment he said this, someone threw a person's head on the ground. He asked the leader if this is the help he is referring to. The leader was shocked to see this. He could not believe that their reinforcement has been wiped out. He wondered about how it happened. He did not know who killed them. The moment he raised his head up, he saw the Murim Alliance leader with the assassins. This man is known as the first heaven-piercing sword. His name is Dam Chunhak. Chunhak walked up to the leader. He said that the power of the Ice Pavilion is truly formidable. He told the leader that he never expected them to be able to put up a fight against them. The leader smiled when he heard this. He said that he never expected him to be cocky. He told the Alliance leader that he would have been in trouble if he met his master. The assassins were annoyed to hear this. They could not believe that some barbarian was speaking rudely to their master. They said that they would cut off his tongue. They promised to kill him there, before the assassins could do anything. A woman stepped out of the carriage and asked them to wait. The leader was surprised to see the woman known as Wayan. Wayan asked him to not worry about her. Chunhak asked the assassins to back down when he saw the woman. Wayan walked up to him. Chunhak could not believe that his daughter was deceived by barbarians and ended up running away. He told her that he has never been so embarrassed before. He stretched out his hand and told her that everyone makes mistakes. He said that she can be forgiven. He told her that he is going to give her one last chance to return as her father. He believed that she was going to make the right choice because she is smart. Wayan asked her father if he will let the men live if she goes back with him. Chunhak glared at her. The woman understood what he was trying to say. She apologized to him. Chunhak did not expect the apology. He realized that she wasn't leaving with him. He raised his sword. The leader was shocked to see this. Chunhak used his sword to cut his own daughter down. He turned around and said that he no longer has a daughter. He said that she has been influenced by barbarians. He told the assassins that their sole mission is to recover the soul of the Central Plains. He asked them to clean up the mess. The assassins rushed to attack the injured men when they heard this. The leader took out 3 assassins that came close to him. He asked his men to fight till the end. The men accepted his orders and began to fight without fear. While she was on the ground, Wayan told herself that she needs to return somewhere. She apologized to someone in her head for not keeping her promise. She said that it will be different next time. The scene shifts and we are taken to a palace. We see someone reporting to his master. His master asked him to repeat what he said. His master's name is Seol Mudak. He is the Northern Sea Palace Master and our protagonist. His subordinate revealed to him that Lord Bai Muyue, who went to the gathering as an envoy to conclude negotiations with the Murim Alliance, fought the alliance. He and his group were annihilated. The moment he heard this, Mudak released his terrifying cold energy in his palace. His subordinates did not flinch, they simply stood. With a look of anger on his face, Mudak said that he will never forgive the Murim Alliance. He promised to wipe them off the map. He asked his subordinates to get ready. The men quickly gathered outside. Mudak told them that they are going to the Central Plains. In the next scene, we are taken to a battlefield covered with snow. We see an injured Chunhak struggling to stay alive. Several blades were sticking out of his body. He looked around and saw countless dead bodies. He could not believe that his entire army was annihilated. He noticed that his inner energy was depleted. He realized that this might be the end for him. He asked the Northern Sea Palace Master to kill him now. Mudak glared at him when he heard this. He moved close to him. He asked Chunhak to tell him why he killed his daughter. Chunhak laughed when he heard this. He asked Mudak to stop asking a stupid question. With a deranged look on his face, he said that the daughter of the alliance leader cannot be playing love games with a barbarian like him. He said that it would have been a bigger mistake to let Wayan live. Mudak raised his hand and gathered his energy. With a creepy smile on his face, Chunhak told our boy that he won't get what he wants the most even though he took over the Central Plains. The moment he said this, Mudok pierced his heart with his sword which he fired at him. Chunhak could not believe that this is how he is going to die after everything. Memories of his daughter flashed in his head. He remembered how he raised her. He wondered why she betrayed him and associated with a bastard. He remembered how he cut Weiyan down. The man said that he is infuriated and resentful. With the death of the Murim Alliance leader, the 6-year-long Great Blood Battle came to an end. The living legend of the Northern Sea Palace became the uncontested ruler of the Central Plains that day. However, Mudok showed no emotion. He simply gazed at the moon. The scene shifts and we are taken to Mudok's room. We see a flower that seems to have lost its nutrient. Our boy realized that this flower is the only thing he has left. He thought about how he got the flower. In the past, Weiyan barged into his room while he was writing. She referred to him as Gaga. He asked her about what happened. The woman asked him to take a look at the flower. She said that the lotus of love has finally bloomed. Mudok was surprised to hear this. He remembered that the lotus of love is a flower that blooms when lovers truly love each other. With tears in her eyes, Weiyan told our boy that she never doubted his feelings. She explained to him that she was actually upset that the lotus wouldn't bloom. She said she is fine now that it has bloomed beautifully. She was happy to see that her love was not one-sided. She said that Mudok really loves her. Our boy hugged her. He told her that he cannot love anyone else apart from her. Mudok was grateful to the flower for making Weiyan so happy. He decided to fill the garden with the lotus of love in order to remember Weiyan. He gently tapped the flower. He said that he cannot forget the woman no matter how much he tries. Immediately he said this. The flower bloomed again. Our boy was shocked to see this. He did not know how it was possible. He called out to someone known as Myong. The man appeared behind him. Mudok ordered him to find someone who can explain what just happened. He asked him to find the right person even if he has to search the entire Central Plains. Myong accepted his master's order and disappeared. A few days later, we see the Manbaches who are said to know everything in the world gathered at the Northern Sea Palace. The men did not know why they were called. While they were talking, someone asked them to step outside. The men were surprised to hear a voice from the sky. They all decided to step outside. When they stepped into the garden, they saw something shocking. They saw a garden filled with the lotus of love. Each of the flowers had bloomed. One of them said that this is his first time seeing a garden like this. The lotus of love is a flower that some might not get to see even once in their lives, and yet there was a garden filled with it. The men noticed that the character of love is inscribed at the stems as if it was embroidered there. They were certain that they were looking at the lotus of love. While they were looking at the flowers, Mudok appeared behind them. He asked them if they like it. The men turned around and said that they do. One of them asked him for his identity. Our boy shared his name with them. He said that he is the owner of the garden. The men were shocked to see the absolute ruler of the Central Plains. Mudok revealed to them that he and his lover made a lotus of love bloom with their love. He told them that the flower died when his lover died. He explained to them that the flower suddenly got revived a few days ago. The men were shocked to hear this. They could not believe that a lotus of love got revived. This was a strange phenomenon to them. An older man among them said that there is one possibility. Mudok appeared in front of the man and asked him to say it. He said that reincarnation might be able to do this. He explained to Mudok that his lover has reincarnated somewhere else in the world. With a scary look on his face, our boy asked the man if he is telling the truth. The man became nervous when he saw the look on his face. He said that there is no other explanation for the lotus of love to bloom again. Mudok smiled when he heard this. He finally had some hope. Our boy fulfilled the long-cherished wish of the Northern Sea Palace by successfully entering the Central Plains and unifying the entire region. However, all that was left for him was emptiness. As the Northern Sea prospers, Mudok's longing for his lover grows. He asked the old man to tell him how he can find Weiyan. According to the man, the lotus of love glows faintly when the two lovers are in the same place. He told the palace master that the lotus of love will glow when he finds his lover. Upon hearing what he said, Mudok realized that the lotus of love Weiyan showed him was glowing. He didn't think much of it at the time. He never expected it to be hiding a secret. The wise man explained to Mudok that it will be difficult for him to carry a live flower around. He advised him to craft the lotus of love into a jewel to carry with him. Our boy asked him if it is possible to do this. The man told him that it is. Mudok turned around and told the man that he will entrust everything to him. He said that they will depart in 10 days. He asked him to make all the preparations by then. The man accepted his order. Mudok revealed to the Manboxes that they will each receive 100 niang of gold if things go well. The men were shocked to hear this. They asked him if he is serious. Mudok told them that he will be leaving now. The men bowed their heads and asked him to take care. Inside his room, our boy looked out his window. He could not believe that he has been given some hope again. He promised himself that he will not let go of this hope. He said that he will find Wei-in no matter where she is. He asked his lover to wait for him. In the next scene, we are taken to a ship. The ship was sailing somewhere. We see Mudok inside the ship. He was looking at a map. He noticed that he had been to most places. He realized that the last place left is Hainan. It has been 3 years and 5 months since our boy started searching for Wei-in. He did not find her anywhere in the Central Plains during this time. Mudok advanced from the transformation realm to the profound realm and experienced complete metamorphosis twice. Our boy believed that his lover must be in Hainan. He touched his jewel and remembered what he said to her. The scene shifts and we are taken to the past. We see Mudok bang the table. He told Wei-in that she doesn't need to go. He asked her about why she wants to leave. Wei-in explained to him that her father has personally decided to attend this negotiation. She said that her father will understand his intentions if his daughter attends the negotiation. Mudok told her that the negotiation might be a trap. Wei-in explained to him that she wants to trust her father for once. She begged him to let her attend the negotiation. After thinking about it, our boy gave in to her request. He asked her to return immediately if anything seems off. Wei-in was happy to hear this. She put her hand into her cloth. She told Mudok that she wants to give him something. Our boy asked her about what it is. She took out a necklace and said that it is a keepsake from her late mother. She said that her mother told her that the necklace has the power to return to the person who gave it out. She gave Mudok the necklace and told him that it will always bring him back to her. With a smile on her face, Wei-in asked her lover to not worry. She promised to never leave his side. Mudok realized that he should have stopped her back then. While sleeping, our boy hears people yelling above him. They said that a storm is coming. When he went to the deck, he saw everyone desperately trying to hold on to the ship. Mudok never expected a storm to suddenly appear. He noticed that he was under the shadow of something. When he turned to the side, he saw a huge wave that was ready to swallow the ship. Mudok covered his body with protective chi. He held himself down with a technique known as the 1,000-pound hammer. This technique protected him when the water pushed some people on the ship. People were pushed into the sea. They screamed out for help. A little girl and her father called out to the mother in the water. Mudok quickly raised some planks next to him with a technique known as telekinetic grasp. He fired the planks into the water and used it to grab the people inside the water. He wanted to drag them back to the ship. Before he could do anything, a man next to him said that the wave is coming again. Immediately the man said this. Mudok turned around to see the ridiculously large wave. The people on board began to lose hope. They held on to anything they could. Our boy knew that the ship couldn't take another wave. He realized that there was only one option left. He placed his hand on his sword and slowly pulled it out. His sword released a cold energy as it was taken out. The people did not understand why everywhere was so cold. Mudok decided to freeze the wave. He wanted to use a technique called freezing ice wind. Before he could use the technique, the jewel began to glow. Mudok was shocked to see this. A bright light from the sky pierced through the wave and shined on him. Our boy used his hand to cover his face from the blinding light. Mudok began to float. He suddenly disappeared while he was in the air. After he disappeared, something incredible happened. The storm disappeared and the cloud cleared up. The people did not understand what was happening. When Mudok opened his eyes, he found himself in a cramped space. He realized that he was in a carriage. Our boy did not know how he got here. He was certain that he was just fighting a storm in the middle of the sea. While he was trying to think, he hears someone scream. He realized that someone was close by, outside the carriage. We see different men running away from giant mosquitoes. The mosquitoes caught some of the men and injured them. 2 girls hid next to a tree and watched as the men ran. A man holding a knife referred to the girls as Savina and Annie. A boy next to him told them that they will save them. Mudok destroyed the carriage with his energy and crushed some mosquitoes next to it. The boy and the man turned around when they heard the loud sound. The leader of the group was shocked to see that the first-class carriage was destroyed. When the dust cleared up, they saw Mudok standing next to the carriage. Our boy assumed that he was in a forest somewhere in the Central Plains. When he looked around, he saw the merchants. He noticed that they looked different and had different clothes. He assumed that they were foreigners. He believed that he was in a different part of the Central Plains. When Mudok looked up, he saw giant flies. Our boy was shocked to see them. He had never seen flies this big. The fact that they were foreigners and huge flies in front of him, Mudok began to wonder about the place he is in. One of the flies rushed to attack him. Our boy easily dodged the attack. He used a technique known as Divine White Ice Palm to attack the fly. The fly froze and broke apart. Mudok could not believe that a mere beast would attack a human just because it grew a little bigger. He said that this is unforgivable. He gathered his energy and charged at the monsters. He froze all of them in an instant. The flies immediately exploded and turned into tiny ice shards. Our boy believed that this is enough for some pathetic bugs. The merchants were shocked to see what he did. The leader walked up to Mudok and tried to talk to him. He said that his name is Edmund Roll. He said that he is the leader of the Roll Merchant Association. Edmund bowed his head and thanked Mudok for saving their association. He referred to our boy as a magic swordsman and asked him if he can tell him his name. Unfortunately for Edmund, Mudok did not understand a single word he said. Our boy was still able to tell that the man was thanking him due to his gestures. He told Edmund that he does not understand foreign languages. He asked him if there is anyone who can speak the language of the Central Plains. The merchants did not understand what he was saying. Edmund turned to the man with glasses and said something to him. Mudok tried to ask the man if there is truly no one who understands the language of the Central Plains. He wondered about how he was going to explain things to them. While he was thinking, one of the men ran to Edmund and said something. He opened his hand and showed him a ring. Mudok wondered about what he wants to use the ring for. Edmund took the ring and cast a spell. He wore the ring and made a weird pose to finish the spell. Mudok was shocked to see the odd pose. After he was done, Edmund asked him if he can understand him now. Our boy was surprised to see this. He could not believe that he is now able to speak the language of the Central Plains fluently. He asked him if this is the power of the ring. Edmund was surprised to hear about the language of the Central Plains. He introduced himself again and thanked Mudok for saving them. He referred to him as Sir Magic Swordsman and asked him for his name. Our boy told the man his name. He told him that he does not know what a magic swordsman is. Edmund was surprised to hear this. He explained to Mudok that a magic swordsman is someone who uses both magic and swords like him. Our boy asked the man to tell him what magic is. Edmund was shocked to hear this. He could not believe that someone who just used ice in front of them did not know what magic is. He wondered about where Mudok came from. Our boy noticed that the man was lost in thought. He called out to him. Edmund was wondering about how he was going to start explaining things to Mudok. Our boy was angry to see that the man was ignoring him. He moved close to him and raised his hand. He released a cold energy from his hand and asked Edmund to answer his question quickly. Edmund became nervous when he saw this. He realized that the person in front of him is crazy. He decided to just explain things to him. He did not want to find out about what will happen if Mudok goes on a rampage. He told our boy that he will explain. He asked him to calm down. In the evening, we see the two of them sitting next to a fire. Mudok was surprised to find out about something called magic in this part of the Central Plains. He realized that the world is quite vast. Edmund was relieved to see that our boy had finally calmed down. He asked him about where the Central Plains is. Mudok was surprised to hear this question. He asked the man if he does not know where he is right now. Edmund did not understand what our boy was saying. Our boy explained to him that it is weird to not know where the Central Plains is when he is in the Central Plains itself. Edmund became more certain that Mudok was crazy. He explained to him that this is not the Central Plains. He told him that they are in a forest leading to the capital of the Drake Kingdom. The capital is known as Barhan. Mudok said that he has never heard anyone call the Central Plains the Drake Kingdom. He asked Edmund if he is already senile, even though he is not so old. The merchant was annoyed to see that some crazy guy was saying that he is senile. He revealed to Mudok that he is 50 years old. He told him that he is worried about him because he keeps insisting that this place is the Central Plains. Our boy became angry when he heard this. He pointed at a tree and told Edmund that they can ask the kid who was peeking at them from behind the tree. The boy stepped out when he noticed that he got caught. Edmund asked the boy named Leo about why he is there. Mudok asked the boy to answer him honestly. He asked him if this is the Central Plains or the Drake Kingdom. Leo could not answer him. Mudok asked him about why he is not speaking. Edmund explained to him that Leo can't understand his words. He took off his ring and asked Mudok to take it. He asked him to put it in his finger and shout interpret language. Edmund did not actually want to lend such an expensive artifact with a language interpreter to some crazy guy. However, He could not stand the fact that Mudok saw him as a senile old man. Our boy put on the ring and did as the man instructed. The moment he said interpret language, he saw different symbols around him. He quickly noticed that he could now understand the foreigners. He found magic to be amazing. He turned to Leo and asked him for his name. The boy told him his name. Mudok asked Leo if they are in the Central Plains or the Drake Kingdom. Leo asked him about where the Central Plains is. He explained to him that this is a forest leading to Barhan. Mudok was shocked to hear this. He asked the boy if he is also going senile. He asked Edmund if he was the one who asked him to say this. The merchant told him that he did not. He asked him to ask the other members of his merchant association if he is suspicious. Due to his reaction, Mudok was able to tell that the man is not lying. He remembered something weird. He recalled that he was fighting a storm on a ship. When he opened his eyes, he was already inside a carriage. Mudok realized that he got teleported somewhere else. The moment he realized this, he felt some pain in his chest. The pain quickly went away. He wondered about the strange feeling he got in his dantian. Edmund asked him if he now believes him. Mudok noticed that the energy here is much different from anything he has ever experienced. He realized that something is not right. He stood up and walked into the woods. He decided to check things out by himself. Edmund was surprised to see him stand up. He called out to him. As he walked deeper into the forest, Mudok noticed that this place has pure energy. He became certain that this place is not the Central Plains. Our boy jumped out of the woods. While he was in the air, he gathered and compressed his energy. After compressing his energy, Mudok released it into his body. He noticed that the amount of chi accumulated in his dantian has doubled. He turned around and moved back down. He wondered about why he got teleported here instead of a place in the Central Plains. He was still focused on finding Wayan. Before he landed on the ground, his necklace came out of his clothes. Mudok wondered if he got sent here because of the light emitted by the necklace earlier. He remembered that his lover told him that the necklace has the power to return to the person who gave it out. Our boy believed that he has been sent here to look for Wayan. He smiled when he landed. He told himself that Wayan must be here. At the camp, Edmund's subordinate asked him about where his new guest went. Edmund said that he does not know. He told him that our boy is unpredictable. The moment he said this, Mudok appeared. He explained to Edmund that he had some business to attend to. He told him that he has a question for him. Edmund noticed that our boy was smiling. He found it creepy. He asked Mudok to tell him his question. Mudok asked him if Leo was being truthful when he said that they are in the Drake Kingdom. The man told him that Leo was telling the truth. He assured him that they will reach Barhan if they travel a bit further. Mudok asked him to tell him where Barhan is. A little boy next to Edmund asked our boy if he does not know anything about this place. He asked him if he spent all his time training in the mountains. The boy said that he has heard stories about eccentric people like him. He said that this is his first time seeing an eccentric person in flesh. Mudok decided to take the boy's explanation. He told them that he has been training in the mountains, and he only just came out today to experience the world. He said that this is why he does not know anything. Mudok had never heard of places like the Drake Kingdom and Barhan. He decided to get more information about the place from the kid. Due to the fact that some of them had different colored eyes, our boy assumed that he was in the land of the Western barbarians, which he had only heard of. The boy was happy to hear what Mudok said. He was happy to see that he was right. He referred to our boy as Sir Magic Swordsman and offered to teach him a few things. Mudok accepted his offer. The boy walked forward and asked him to follow him. Mudok asked the boy for his name. The little boy introduced himself as Luffy. Edmund found it creepy that the crazy man was acting friendly. He could not understand what was going through our boy's head. Mudok began to learn about this place and the language the people use from Luffy. Our boy realized that this place wasn't a foreign land. It was actually an entirely different world. The land was oddly shaped and the writings differ from anything he had seen before. In this world, there are other species apart from humans. Elves and dwarves exist. Apart from them, beings known as beastmen also exist on the continent. Of all the species, the strongest are creatures known as dragons. Mudok believed that they were lizards with wings. There are also things known as warp magic and magic circles. According to Luffy, warp magic can be used by 5th circle mages and above. They draw a round magic circle on the ground and chant a spell. This allows one to travel to wherever they wish. The better the mage's ability, the further they can warp. To Mudok, magic was an inexplicable sorcery. He looked up to the sky and wondered about the other amazing things that this world could hold. Immediately he raised his head up. He noticed something strange. There were 3 moons in the sky. This was something he could not even imagine in the Central Plains. He wondered if Wayan was really the one who summoned him to this place. While he was thinking, someone screams at the girl known as Savina. He begged her not to do something. Mudok quickly turned around. He noticed that something was happening around the camp. Savina asked the man to tell her why she can't do something. The girl held a knife and grabbed Annie. She asked everyone to not come close to her unless they want to die. The merchants begged Savina to not do anything. Mudok wondered about what is happening. The man with glasses assured Savina that they will be able to heal both of them when they arrive in the capital. He told her that the capital has a lot of mages. He told her that he will even ask Edmund for a favor. He begged her to let go of Annie because she is scared. Savina asked the man whose name is Charles if he thinks that she is stupid. She reminded him that healers are rare even in the capital. She asked him if he knows how much it costs to heal one person. The girl told him that the assassin bug's egg is lodged in her heart. She said that it can hatch into a larva at any moment. She asked him if anyone can heal this. Charles did not know what to say to the girl. With tears in her eyes, Savina told him that the egg will tear she and Annie apart when it hatches into a larva. She raised the knife and said that it will be better for them to die while they are still in one piece. Before she could kill Annie, Mudok asked her to wait. He told her that he has roughly understood the situation. He raised his hand and used his energy to drag the knife from her hand. He assured her that he will treat her. He asked her to not do anything stupid. Savina did not know when he took the knife away. Mudok moved close to them. He asked them to sit down. He said that the treatment must start now. Edmund asked our boy if he also knows healing magic. Mudok explained to him that he does not know any magic. He said that he only knows a few healing techniques that were passed down to him. He told them that they can relax. Edmund and Charles were happy to hear this. Edmund moved close to our boy and begged him to save the girls. He assured him that he will repay him with all his heart even though he does not have much. Mudok told him that he was going to help the girls even if he didn't ask. He asked everyone to step back a bit. He said that he is going to start the treatment. Edmund asked his subordinates to step back. Mudok moved close to the girls. He asked them not to be so tense. He assured them that it won't take long. He asked them to close their eyes and relax. The girls followed his instructions. Mudok used his energy to scan their bodies. He noticed that the bugs were near their hearts. While he was carefully searching, he found something surprising. He found the bugs in their hearts. Mudok noticed that the eggs had not yet hatched. He gently controlled his energy and used it to burn the eggs without harming the girls' hearts. Their hearts shined brightly. The girls let out a burp after the eggs were burnt. Mudok stood up and told them that he has taken care of the problem. The girls were shocked to hear this. They asked him if he is serious. Our boy assured them that he has destroyed the bug eggs. He asked them to take things easy. Edmund and the rest of the group were shocked to hear this. Edmund asked Mudok if Annie and Savina are fine now. Our boy did not understand why the merchant was doubting him. He assured him that they are fine. He revealed to the two girls that there will be no side effects. He asked them to not worry about it. The girls bowed their heads and thanked him. Savina told him that he is their savior. The rest of the group also bowed their heads and did the same thing. Mudok walked forward and gently waved his hand at them. Later in the night, we see Mudok resting under a tree. He never expected the day to be so stressful. He touched his jewel and said that he misses his lover on days like this. He looked at the stars and prayed that he will meet Wayan soon. The next day, we see the group traveling towards Barhan. Edmund took off his jacket and placed it on his head. He wondered why everywhere was so hot today. Even Mudok had to tie his hair because of how hot it was. It was quite scorching. Luffy offered him a bottle of water. Our boy thanked him and accepted it. Before drinking the water, Mudok noticed that it was lukewarm. He released a little cold energy into the bottle and made the water cold. It was now much better for him. Luffy asked him if he is alright. He told him that everywhere is quite hot. Mudok shoved his bottle in Luffy's face. The boy was shocked to see that the water was cold. Our boy asked him to take it. Luffy accepted the bottle. He wondered why it was so cold. Mudok asked him to drink it. The moment he put the water in his mouth, he tasted some ice inside it. The little boy was happy to taste such a refreshing cold water in the scorching heat. Mudok smiled when he saw the look on his face. He asked Luffy if it is very refreshing. Luffy took out another bottle with a bright smile on his face. The boy asked Mudok if he can also freeze this bottle. Our boy did not see any issue with this. This boy already helped him a lot. The least he could do was to freeze his water bottle. He stretched out his hand and released a small amount of cold energy. Luffy began to cheer when our boy told him that he is done. While he was looking at the boy, Mudok noticed that the others had surrounded him. They all held out their water bottles and begged him to freeze it for them. They wanted to taste the refreshing ice water that Luffy drank. Of course, this was not difficult for Mudok, but he knew that he might create more stress for himself if he grants their request. Edmund tapped one of his men and asked him about what is happening. He moved close to them and asked someone to explain what is happening to him. Luffy revealed to him that Mudok made some ice water. He told him that the seniors now want to drink this cold water. With a weird look on his face, Edmund called out to Mudok. Our boy asked him if something is wrong. Edmund went on his knees and presented his bottle to him. He said that he also wants some ice water. Our boy was surprised to see this. He asked the man to give him his bottle. Mudok decided to stay with this caravan in order to learn more about this world. This people already helped him in solving the biggest problem he had. This problem was the language barrier. Our boy did not see it as a big deal to give out ice water to them. He froze Edmund's water for him. The man thanked him. He quickly drank the ice water. Edmund noticed something odd. He told Mudok that something is strange. Our boy did not expect this. Edmund asked him about how he created the ice. Mudok asked him about why he is asking the question. He asked him if something is wrong. With a bright smile on his face, Edmund told our boy that the ice is absolutely perfect. He revealed to him that he has tried all the ice available on the continent. He said that he has never tasted this kind of ice before. The ice water was on another level to the man. He told Mudok that he is quite amazing. Mudok had never heard about ice being tasty. He said that he merely froze the water. He asked Edmund to tell him what he means when he says that the taste is different. According to Edmund, when creating ice, it is common to use the cold attributes of mana in the air to freeze water directly. It can also be done by gathering moisture from the atmosphere. During this process, impurities from the mana gets mixed into the ice. This affects its taste, however. Since each mage has a unique mana signature, it is rare to find someone who can create pure ice. It is basically hard to get pure ice. Edmund told Mudok that his ice is incredibly pure. This is why it tastes so good. Our boy now understood why the group reacted so enthusiastically. He could not believe that something as simple as ice would get him this kind of reaction. He almost felt pity for them. Since he was in a good mood, Mudok decided to create more ice. With a smile on his face, he released his energy. Before he could do anything, Edmund called him Sir Magic Swordsman. Our boy asked him if there is something wrong. Edmund pointed his hand at the sky and said that he has a proposal for him. A few days later, we see Charles directing some men carrying buckets filled with water. He asked them to take the buckets to the back of the store. At the back of the store, we see Mudok gather his energy. He used it to freeze the buckets of water in front of him. He turned the water into ice cubes. The merchants clapped for him when they saw this. They rushed to carry the buckets. While looking at them, Mudok thinks about what led him to this place. The scene shifts and we are taken to the past. We see Mudok shocked after hearing Edmund's proposal. The man explained to our boy that he wants to revive his merchant association by selling the ice that he makes. He became nervous when he said this. Mudok realized that Edmund had a hidden agenda when he kept going on about how refreshing the ice is. Edmund told our boy that fourth circle mages who can make ice are too arrogant and end up making subpar ice. He told him that they need to target this market. Mudok could tell that Edmund does not have any ill intentions. He actually wanted to revive his struggling merchant association. Our boy did not want to offer his service for free. He decided to negotiate. He told the merchant that it will be a 70-30 business. Edmund asked him to explain what he means. Mudok told him that he will take 70% of the profit because he is making the ice, while Edmund will take 30% for selling it. The merchant knew that this wasn't a bad offer because ice sells like hotcakes. He decided to try negotiating further. He explained to Mudok that he will need wagons for transport, workers that will pull this wagons and mages that will keep the ice from melting. He told him that the upfront cost is quite significant. He asked our boy if he can make some adjustments to the percentage. Mudok told him that he will reduce it to 60-40. The man was shocked to see that our boy easily accepted it. He took out a paper and told Mudok that they need to draft a contract. Mudok agreed to the negotiation because this place was a good place for him to learn about this world. The business was actually booming more than he expected. While they were trying to sort things out, Charles barged into the room. While breathing heavily, he told Edmund that he needs to come out for a moment. Edmund and Mudok were surprised to hear this. They wondered about what was happening. At the front of the store, we see a large amount of people shouting. They said that they wanted to buy the ice candy. someone begged the association to sell some of their ice to them. One man introduced himself as Arnold. He said that he came from Narrow City to do business with their merchant association. Edmund asked the people to form a line. They ignored him and continued shouting. The man did not know what to do. While they were shouting, someone asked them to keep quiet in their heads. Everyone was shocked to hear a person's voice in their heads. Edmund quickly turned around. He knew that only Mudok was capable of doing this. Our boy asked them to stay quiet. With a serious look on his face, he told them that they will all be sent away if it gets noisy again. He advised them to be careful. Everyone accepted his warning. Now that they were quiet, Edmund explained to them that his merchant association only sells in bulk. He apologized to those who came to purchase a small amount. He asked them to leave. He told them that they might have small-scale sales in the future. Some people begged the man. They told him that they came from far places. They asked him if he cannot just sell a small amount to them. Mudok glared at this people. They were terrified to see the scary look on his face. They decided to leave on their own. Edmund asked everyone else to line up. A merchant wearing an eye patch told Edmund that he is from the Meiji Merchant Association. The man next to him introduced himself as Benjamin. He said that he is the butler of the slave family. The brown man next to him said that he came from the Arista family. Edmund knew that the Meiji Merchant Association is one of the top 10 merchant association on the continent. He could not believe that someone from the prestigious slave family was in front of him. Edmund knew that he would make a lot of money, but he never expected to be this lucky. He turned to Mudok. He knew that this people were standing in front of him because of our boy. Although his merchant association had not completely revived yet, it was still thanks to Mudok that they reached this stage. With a smile on his face, he asked Mudok to rest for now. Our boy asked him if the busiest part is over. Edmund told him that it is. He assured him that he can handle the rest. He asked him to take a break. Mudok turned around and wished him luck. Although he felt bad that he was making our boy work, Edmund had his own reasons for reviving this merchant association. In order to avenge his parents and siblings who died unjustly, he needed to fully revive this merchant association and use it to take revenge on Duke Icarus, who ruined them by using the Akasa Merchant Association. Edmund promised himself that he won't give up until he has taken his revenge. He hoped Mudok would cooperate with him until this time comes. He promised to repay him when he succeeds. Inside his room, Mudok jumped on the bed. He was so tired. Since business was doing well and money was coming in steadily, our boy decided to start gathering information about his lover. While he was thinking, someone knocked on his door. The person turns out to be Savina. Mudok was happy to hear that the girl was at his doorstep. He realized that it was already snack time. He asked her to come in. The girl was holding a large bowl containing something. This was Mudok's new favorite snack. It was ice cream. It is a treat made by mixing ice and fruit. The treat was accidentally invented by Savina. The girl placed the bowl on the table. Mudok thanked her for bringing him the snack again. Savina smiled and asked him to enjoy. He took out his spoon and took his first bite. The ice cream had a cold, sweet, and luscious flavor. It was a taste that he could have never imagined in the Northern Sea Palace. Mudok heard that the Merchant Association was thriving because of ice cream. He fully understood why. While he was licking it, our boy noticed that the bowl was empty. He could not believe that he already finished it. He decided to get another one. He did not want to go by himself, but he had no choice since everyone was busy. When he got into the store, he could hear some noise outside. He wondered about what was causing this noise. At the front of the store, we see Savina asking someone to line up. The bastard smiled when he heard this. He asked Savina to tell him who gave her the power to order nobles around. Mudok wondered about who the young men were. The boy next to the chubby boy believed that Savina was asking them to line up because she did not know who they were. He asked her to shut up and bring out the ice cream. The chubby boy pointed at Savina and told her that they heard a rumor about the ice cream, so they came to try it. He told her that there will be consequences if the ice cream is not good. Savina told him that their merchant association does not sell ice cream to people who cut in line. She asked the boy to understand. This only made the chubby boy angrier. He could not believe that she wanted them to line up like commoners. He said that it is already annoying that they are in the same place as mere peasants. He did not like the fact that she was asking him to join the queue. He asked her if she has a death wish. Savina told the idiot that she does not serve ice cream to nobles just because of their status. The boy asked her if she is trying to defy a noble. The girl knew that Mudok would protect her if things go wrong. She decided to speak freely. She told the boy that he is not making sense. She said that she is simply stating the rules. The other boy was annoyed to hear this. He called the girl a wretch. He took out his sword and asked her if she really wants to die. Savina was not scared to see his sword. The boy was annoyed to see this. Before he could do anything, their third friend tapped his shoulder. He called him Samuel. With a cold gaze in his eyes, the boy asked Samuel to not act rashly. He asked him if he wants to lower their dignity. Samuel became nervous when he saw the look on his friend's face. He apologized to him. The boy walked up to Savina. With the same look in his eyes, he told her that they came to try the ice cream. Savina did not like his cold gaze. Her heart felt like it was freezing. She began to tremble. The boy told her that he doesn't like waiting. He asked her to bring it out now. Savina was lost in his gaze. With a shaky tone in her voice, she asked him to wait. Someone called out to Savina. The person turns out to be Edmund. The man reminded her that their merchant association does not sell ice cream to those who cut in line. He asked her if she forgot. Savina apologized to the leader. Mudok could tell that Edmund had something against this young man for him to have such a strong reaction. With a look of anger on his face, Edmund asked the boy to leave. He told him that he cannot tolerate any further disregard for their rules. The two boys were annoyed to hear this. They believed that Edmund was insulting nobles. The man asked them to not be mistaken. He told them that there is another reason why he won't sell ice cream to them. The boy who appears to be their leader asked Edmund for his reason. With a look of anger on his face, the merchant asked the boy to question Duke Icarus by himself. Charles and the other merchant were shocked to hear their leader mention the Duke's name. The boy asked Edmund about how he knows his father. The moment he said this, he noticed that Edmund looked familiar. He recognized the man's eyes. With a creepy smile on his face, the boy asked Edmund if he is one of the leftovers from the Roll Merchant Association. His friends were shocked to see the smile on his face. They knew that Justin only smiles like this when he is angry. Justin took out his sword. He told Edmund that he must pay for the crime of insulting a noble with his life. The moment he said this, he swung his sword at the man. Edmund closed his eyes out of fear. He could not believe that he will not be able to avenge his family before the sword could touch him. Mudok blocked it with his hand. Edmund was surprised to see him. Mudok swung his hand and pushed the boy back. Justin was annoyed to see this. He called our boy a bastard. He asked him if he has a death wish. Mudok could not believe that this nonsense happened when he came down to get some ice cream. He never expected Justin to try to kill someone just because they told him that they don't sell ice cream to people who cut in line. He found this to be absurd. He told the bastard that he really has no manners. He told him that he will use this opportunity to teach him some manners. Justin became angrier when he heard this. He put his energy into his sword and charged at our boy. He told him that he will kill him. Mudok easily dodged his first attack. Justin began to attack him more fiercely. Our boy dodged the attacks without stressing himself. He gently smiled at Justin as he dodged his attacks. He told him that his talent is quite impressive for someone as young as him. He explained to him that his sword will never reach him no matter how many times he swings it. According to Mudok, in principle, righteousness is always accompanied by reason. This is what creates harmony. He explained to Justin that the nobles lack any sense of propriety if his actions represent them. He told him that he is not a narrow-minded person. He said that he will only fix his manners for today. Justin called our boy a bastard. He could not believe that he was speaking rudely to a noble. Mudok moved behind the boy and told him that what he is saying is irrelevant. He said that discipline is all he will need to learn respect. Our boy was reminded of the Central Plains. He realized that his attachment to Wayan made him forget the ways of the world. Everything comes down to survival of the fittest. He gathered some energy in his fingertips and fired it at Justin. This technique is known as formless chi. The attack hit the boy in his wrist. It created a huge hole in his wrist. Justin dropped his sword and fell to the ground. He grit his teeth out of anger. Mudok glared at the boy with a cold gaze in his eyes. Edmund was surprised to see Justin injured. He did not know the kind of attack Mudok used. Justin's friends quickly moved close to him. They raised their swords and asked Mudok to stay back. The chubby one promised our boy that he will cut him down if he moves closer. Samuel became terrified when he saw Mudok still approaching them. Our boy saw something surprising. Justin was trying to stand up. He asked him about why he bothered to get up. The boy placed his hand on his friend's shoulder and asked him to move. He stood in front of Mudok confidently. Our boy smiled when he saw this. He found it amusing that Justin was giving him a show. He covered his hand with his energy. With a scary smile on his face, Mudok told Justin that he wants to see how long he will last. Mudok swung his hand and sent the idiot flying. His friends were shocked to see this. The chubby one quickly ran to check on Justin. He asked him if he is all right. The moment he said this, he saw the hole in his friend's wrist. Mudok was disappointed to see that Justin flew back when he only used the strength of a first-rate martial artist. He realized that the boy was weaker than he expected. He wondered if he should stop. Our boy realized that he had not fully understood how this world functions. He decided to not kill Justin. He moved closer to the boy. Justin asked him for his identity. He asked him if he truly doesn't know who he is. With a look of anger on his face, he asked Mudok to tell him what gave him the guts to treat him like this. Our boy understood that this bastard has lost his mind. Instead of reflecting, he was just full of spite. He wondered if he should just kill him now. Mudok knew that he would not be different from this idiot if he killed him. The two boys pointed their swords at him. The chubby one asked him if he believes that he can get away with messing with a noble. Mudok ignored them and looked around him. He found a stick on the ground. He believed that the stick would be perfect. He used his telekinetic grasp to pick it up. He smiled when he held the stick. Justin became nervous when he saw this. He quickly stood up. The other boys were surprised to see how Mudok got the stick. With a smile on his face, Mudok imbued his sword energy into the stick. Justin was surprised to see this. However, our boy was not done. He added his sword sphere into it. Justin begged him not to come closer. With an evil smile on his face, Mudok added his sword chi to it. The boys fell to the ground and began to tremble. With a creepy smile on his face, Mudok told the boys that the best remedy for scums like them is a club. He raised the club and began to beat the boys. He advised them to get a grip. Our boy enjoyed dishing out this beating. In the evening, we see the boys kneeling. They begged Mudok to forgive them. They assured him that they won't do this again. Our boy told them that he cannot hear them. He asked them to repeat what they said. Justin was annoyed to hear this. He promised himself that he will kill Mudok. He said that he will stomp on his head. Although this was his wish, the boy had no power to do it. He had no choice but to beg our boy for forgiveness. He assured him that he will never make a mistake like this again. Mudok was happy to see the outcome of the beating. He realized that nothing is better than a good beating. He advised them to be careful from now on. Edmund was touched to see what Mudok did. He thanked him in his head. The scene shifts and we are taken to a castle. We see a king and his subordinates seated. Count Slabe reports to the king that they received some information from an informant planted in the Serbia kingdom. King Tomalova III asked the count to speak. According to Slabe, the Serbia kingdom has succeeded in reclaiming the barren northern region of Blackstone. Additionally, the Hazen kingdom is trying to develop the land beyond the Sahara Desert. Duke Sergio von Icarus explained to Slabe that the land beyond the Sahara Desert is too dangerous for humans to live in because of the monsters. He asked the count if the Hazen kingdom has a way of taking care of things. Slabe revealed to him that they have received a report that they are not yet sure of. He told the duke that Anos has naturalized. The king was shocked to hear this. With a nervous look on his face, Count Crash asked him if it is really true. Slabe told him that it is. Baron Arista asked him if he is referring to one of the top 10 sword masters on the continent. He had heard that Anos turned down any amount of money offered to him. The king wondered why Anos ended up in Hazen instead of wandering the continent without belonging to any factions. Crash suggested that the sword master might have fallen in love with someone there. Slabe told him that he is correct. The men were surprised to hear this. The king asked his count about who the woman is. Slabe told him that it is someone they all know quite well. The person turns out to be Princess Daphrin. She is the younger sister of the current king. The king is known as Laird II of Hazen. The men were surprised to hear that Laird, who cherishes his younger sister as his most prized possession, gave her away to a man. Tomalova told his subordinates that the Hazen kingdom now has 2 sword masters. Slabe explained to his king that the Hazen kingdom will likely attempt to expand their land. This is a goal that they have repeatedly failed to achieve since the reign of Laird I. Tomalova became worried when he heard this. In the east, the Hazen kingdom is expanding its territory. In the south, the commercial Serbia kingdom is developing its land. Across the Western Sea, the Jeva Empire is also expanding its land. Tomalova knew that they could not stay idle. He asked his subordinates to share their opinions on what they should do. The duke suggested that it would be beneficial for them to also expand their territory. The king reminded him that they do not have any suitable land for expansion. He asked him if he is suggesting that they cross the Lazar Mountains to the north. Sergio stood up and told the king that they have no other choice. Everyone was surprised to hear this, Expanding into the north is difficult. Even if they succeed, the entire area is covered in ice. This will render their efforts useless. Heading to the north would ultimately mean that they were pushed out of the power struggle. This is why everyone is hesitant. Tomalova knew that someone will soon be sent to the north to address the issue of territorial expansion. He turned to his count. Slave nodded at him. He told his subordinates that the meeting will end for today. He told them that they will reconvene at another time. Slave walked out of the room with the king. The duke realized that the count and the king were hiding something. The scene shifts and we see the king and the count in a room together. Tomalova asked Slave if he has made any mistakes recently. The man said that he hasn't. Tomalova realized that the duke is up to his usual tricks again. Since 10 years ago, he has been sending anyone who opposes him to the north. Slave told his king that this is all because of his shortcomings. Tomalova asked him to not say this. He told him that he is the only one he trusts among his retainers. He told the count that he heard a rumor about some kind of ice being sold in the capital. He asked him if he knows anything about it. The count realized that the king was referring to the ice candy made by the Roll Merchant Association. Tomalova was surprised to hear the name. Slave explained to him that the ice is different from regular ice. He told him that it earned its name because it is so sweet. The king asked the man about how long the trading company stays open. The count said that they are open till night. He realized that the king wanted to taste the ice candy. He revealed to the king that he is planning on going on a secret outing soon. He told him that they can check the store together. Tomalova smiled when he heard this. He commended the count for being able to read his mind. Slave told him that it is his duty to understand his desires as his aide. Tomalova asked him about when he plans on going for this secret outing. The scene shifts and we are taken to Mudok's room. We see the kids begging our boy to teach them magic. Our boy was about to lick his ice cream. He was surprised to hear what the kids said. Savina apologized to him for barging in. She knew that it was improper. The girl also knew that not everyone can learn magic. She told him that they have no choice but to learn it. Annie explained to him that the company might face danger again like last time. She promised him that she will train hard. She begged him to teach them. Mudok found it nice to see the kids determined. He placed his ice cream down and reminded them that he does not use magic. Luffy asked him if he uses martial arts like he mentioned before. Our boy told him that he remembered it correctly. He released some of his energy and revealed to them that he uses the Ice White Divine Palm. He told them that he cannot teach them magic because he also doesn't know how to use it. Leo asked him if he can teach them martial arts instead. Mudok was surprised to hear this. The kids agreed with Leo's idea. They believed that it would be amazing to learn martial arts. They begged Mudok to teach them martial arts. Our boy did not know what to say. He noticed that they had earnest eyes and a strong resolve to see their goals through. They reminded him of his childhood. He remembered how his younger self asked someone to teach him martial arts. The person glared at him. Due to the fact that he was urgently searching for his lover, Mudok felt like it would be wrong for him to accept some students. However, these children also wanted to protect someone, and more than anything, they have been helping Mudok out in many ways even though they don't know him well. According to the rules, our boy was not allowed to teach the martial arts of the Northern Sea Palace carelessly. Mudok wondered if this rule still applied in a different world. Savina begged him to teach them. Our boy asked the children to let him think about it. He asked them to come back by this time tomorrow. He told them that he will give them his answer then. The children were happy to hear this. They believed that Mudok was going to teach them. Leo told him that they will never forget his kindness even in death. Our boy realized that the children misunderstood him. Before he could explain himself, the children turned around and left the room. They were excited to be learning martial arts. They closed the door and asked him to sleep well. Mudok decided to figure things out later. He wondered if he was like this when he was their age. He realized that his master must have had a hard time. He opened his window and looked outside. While he was thinking, he heard the sound of metal clashing from the forest. He found this odd. Inside the forest, we see Count Slave kill someone in front of him. The person was wearing a hood that covered his face. The count was with the king. He wondered if he could hold out before reinforcement arrives. He could not believe that they were ambushed the day they went out to eat the ice candy. While he was thinking, he hears a loud sound behind him. He quickly turned around. He saw a mage cast a spell known as Fire Bomb. The mage created several fireballs. He fired them at Slave. The count grit his teeth and charged at the attack. It created a huge explosion in the forest. The king was shocked to see this. He quickly ran to him. Slave told him that he is fine. Tomalova reminded him that his arm is bleeding. The Count moved in front of him. He asked the king to forgive him for his rudeness since it is an emergency. The king assured him that he understands. Slabe did not expect a mage to be among them. He was not able to tell because their attires were similar. He ordered his men to not lose their composure. He asked them to reorganize the formation. The soldiers quickly followed his order. The leader of the assassins asked them to not let a single person live. One of the assassins said that he will take Slabe's head. The Count charged at the assassin and swiftly cut off his head. The other assassins were shocked to see how fast Slabe was. They quickly rushed to attack him. Slabe blocked their attacks. He moved close to one of them and asked him about who sent them. The man told him that he does not need to know since he will soon die. Slabe realized that the magic attack took out a lot of his men. He could tell that this people had no intentions of letting them live. Although he did not like the situation, the Count knew that he had to protect the king at all cost. He must do this for the sake of the kingdom. The mage raised his hand and prepared to use another attack. Slabe ordered his men to gather around the king and protect him. The mage laughed when he heard this. He told the Count that he is too late. Before the man could use his attack, someone struck him down with ice. Everyone was surprised to see this. The leader of the assassins asked the person for his identity. As expected, the person turns out to be Mudok. With a smile on his face, our boy said that he has been caught. Mudok jumped off the tree and appeared behind the leader. He knocked out an assassin next to the leader. He said that he wanted to see the moon, but everywhere was so loud that he had to come there. The leader quickly turned around when he heard this. With a scary look on his face, Mudok told the leader that he needs to finish this before his ice cream melts. The leader could tell that our boy was dangerous. He did not know when he got behind him. Although they were caught off guard, they were still superior in terms of numbers. The man wanted to kill the king and get out of the forest as soon as possible to avoid any variables. He took out his sword and charged at Mudok. He said that he will take care of our boy. He ordered his men to kill Tomalova. Mudok blocked his attack with his sword. He said that he never expected to see all kinds of swords here. He decided to respect the leader by using his sword, which is known as Sullen. He asked the man to come at him. The leader was annoyed to see this. He charged at Mudok and told him that he will not get out of the fight alive. Our boy found this exhilarating. He advised the man to do his best. He easily blocked the man's attack. The leader took out his other sword and used it to attack him. Mudok dodged his attacks without stressing himself. The man put his sword together and attacked our boy from both sides. Our boy was still able to dodge it. Before the man could attack again, Mudok pushed his sword away and hit him in his back. The man grit his teeth to endure the pain. Our boy raised his sword and began to attack the assassin. The man managed to block Mudok's attacks, but he was struggling to keep up with him. While he was struggling, our boy grabbed his head and slammed it to the ground. He was enjoying the fight. The moment he stood up, rain began to fall. Tomalova asked the Count about what is happening. Slabe advised his king to be cautious. He asked him to step back. Immediately he heard this. Tomalova realized something. He told Slabe that they are looking at the hope of the kingdom. The Count did not understand what he was talking about. The assassins were shocked to see what Mudok did to their captain, whose name is Morian. They wondered if Mudok is a sword master. Our boy moved close to the assassins. With a look of anger on his face, he told them that this is all their fault. The assassins did not understand what was happening. Mudok revealed to them that his ice cream has melted in the rain because of them. The assassins did not even know what an ice cream was. Our boy told them that he will show them how fearsome a grudge born from ice cream can be. He told them that he will count to 3. He said that he cannot guarantee the lives of those who remain after he is done counting. The assassins believed that he was spouting nonsense. One of them said that they can get rid of him if they all attack at once. The other assassins agreed with this. Mudok began to count. The assassins charged at him. They wanted to shut him up. When he got to 3, the assassins had already gotten close to him. He activated his protective chi. This allowed him to block all the assassins' attacks. They were shocked to see a barrier. Mudok released a large amount of his cold energy. He asked the assassins to not say his sword is merciless. The moment he said this, he swung his sword. Huge pieces of ice came out of the ground and tore them apart. The king and the Count were shocked to see this. After taking care of the assassins, Mudok put his sword away. He said that vengeance has been served. He jumped out of the area. The Count was surprised to see that our boy left like that. Tomalova turned to him. He told him that they cannot waste any time. Slabe already knew what the king wanted. He placed his hand on his chest and told Tomalova that his wish is his command. In the next scene, we see one of the merchants talking to Edmund. He revealed to him that the children are studying magic. Edmund was surprised to hear this. He reminded the man that magic is not something that one can study on their own. With a serious look on his face, he asked the man if Mudok is the one teaching the children. The man told him that he is correct. He explained to him that his family members also want to learn magic. He did not understand why Mudok was only teaching 4 children. Edmund began to laugh like a crazy person when he heard this. The man was surprised to see this. He assumed that Edmund was tired from overworking. The merchant was actually happy that Mudok was teaching the children, especially since numerous people want to learn magic. He stood up and asked the man about where the children are learning. He asked him to lead the way. Edmund believed that the day his trading group will reach the top is no longer far. The scene shifts, and we see the merchant talking to Mudok. With a smile on his face, Edmund told our boy that he knows everything. Mudok asked him to explain what he means. Edmund revealed to him that he heard that he is teaching the children magic. Mudok realized that this is what the other merchants were gossiping about. He did not want them to know about it. With tears in his eyes, Edmund thanked Mudok for what he is doing. He told him that he does not know how he can repay him. While they were talking, Charles came to meet them. Edmund asked him if something happened. The man said that there is a guest for Mudok. Our boy seemed to be annoyed to hear this. Edmund was surprised to hear that Mudok has a guest. The guest moved close to Charles. Edmund did not recognize the man. The young man went on his knees and begged Mudok to help him. Our boy asked him to leave. The man grabbed his leg and revealed to him that the king said that he will come by himself if he is not able to bring him to the castle. Mudok told the man that he has no reason to trust him. Edmund was surprised to hear about the king. Our boy used his leg to hit the man's face. The servant begged him not to decline the king's invitation. Mudok gently moved his leg out of the man's hand. He asked him about why he always comes to this place to harass others every day. He walked forward and advised the man to stop wasting his time. He asked him to leave. Mudok did not want to get involved with things like this because he did not think that it would give him a clue about Wayan. As he walked forward, our boy took a look at his necklace. He remembered the conversation he had with someone. The scene shifts and we are taken to the past. We see a man begging Mudok. Our boy told the man that he has no interest. He explained to him that he has gotten the entire gangbuk in 3 years. He said that the people of the Central Plains will soon come looking for them. He asked the man to tell him why they need to negotiate with the slimy bastards. Muyua explained to him that there are situations where a person shows their strength, and there are times when a person does not do anything. He told Mudok that this is the time to show others that the Northern Sea Palace is not just about brute force. He assured our boy that they can show their power again if this method doesn't work. He told him that he will take charge of the negotiation. Mudok smiled when he heard this. He told him that he will leave everything to him. He took a sip of his tea and told Muyua that they will attack the Central Plains if the negotiations fail. Muyua laughed when he heard this. He believed that it was impossible for the negotiations to fail. On his way to the negotiations, Mudok met Wayan for the first time. The two of them immediately locked eyes. They could feel their hearts beating. Mudok knew that this was the woman of his destiny. That day was the best day of his life. In the present, Mudok smiled when he remembered the day he met his lover. He decided to only think about her. He did not want to focus on any stupid thing. While he was thinking, Luffy waved at him. He and the other children seemed to be meditating. Mudok smiled when he saw him. He realized that there are many things for him to do. He knew that he had to act with caution. Later in the day, we are taken to the castle. Tomalova was annoyed to hear that Mudok refused his invitation again. The servant bowed his head and begged the king to forgive him. Tomalova began to dislike our boy the more he heard about him. He simply wanted to thank him for saving his life. The young man said that he will go again tomorrow. He assured the king that he will get a different response. Tomalova asked him not to bother himself. He believed that the man has already done enough. While they were talking, someone knocked on the door. The person turns out to be the princess. Her name is Ishilda. Tomalova quickly took a look at himself in the mirror. He asked the servant to get out. The man felt bad that he wasn't able to complete his mission. As she walked into the room, the princess noticed that the man looked sad. The beautiful red-haired princess greeted her father in an elegant manner. She told him that the chamberlain looked sad. She asked him if something happened. Tomalova became nervous when he heard this. When his daughter sat next to him, he explained everything that happened to her. Ishilda was shocked to hear about what her father went through. She quickly stood up and asked him if he is all right. Tomalova grabbed her hands. He assured her that he is fine. He asked her to not worry about it. Ishilda sat down back. She asked Tomalova if he knows the reason why Mudok rejected his invitation. The king said that he has no idea. He revealed to his daughter that he wishes to keep our boy by his side because he is very skilled. Unfortunately, Mudok wasn't answering his summons. Ishilda believed that our boy must be a great person for her father to be interested in him. Tomalova nodded his head. He asked his daughter if she knows about the ice and ice cream created by the Roll Trading Company. Ishilda said that she has also tried the ice cream. Her father revealed to her that Mudok is the one who made that ice. Ishilda was surprised to hear this. Tomalova explained to her that he started feeling greedy after finding out that our boy was the one who created the ice. Ishilda completely understood her father. She remembered the feeling she got when she first tasted ice cream. She could not forget this feeling even if she tried. The woman looked outside the window. She found it intriguing that the mage who created the ice cream is the one who her father is looking for. She wondered about who our boy was. While she was thinking, she saw two kids happily licking their ice creams. Ishilda wondered if she should use this opportunity to meet Mudok in person. In the next scene, we see Mudok watching the children meditate. He has only been teaching them for half a month, but they had already reached the stage where they can emit chi. Our boy was not surprised to see this. The concentration of chi is much denser here than in the Central Plains. He put his hands together and asked the children to stop. He told them that they can properly control mana. He told them that they will be moving to the next stage. The children said that they understand. The moment they said this, the Chamberlain appeared and greeted him. Mudok was annoyed to hear his voice. He already knew who it was without turning around. He wondered if time was repeating itself. When our boy turned around, he saw a woman wearing a hood move close to them. Because the Chamberlain didn't come in the morning, Mudok assumed that he would not come at all. He asked the man about why he came again. Immediately he said this. His necklace began to glow. Our boy was shocked to see this. He quickly raised his head up. The woman in front of him took off her hood. She turned out to be the princess. With a smile on her face, the woman greeted him and introduced herself as the princess of the Drake Kingdom. Mudok immediately knew that he had found her. He was certain that he was looking at Wayan's reincarnated body. The scene shifts and we are taken to the store. Ishilda told our boy that she heard about how he saved her father's life. Mudok said that it just happened. The princess was surprised to hear the rude reply. She forcefully made herself smile. She told Mudok that her father has invited him to the palace to show his gratitude. She referred to him as Sir Magic Swordsman and asked him about why he refused the invitation. She said that he has rejected the invitation more than 2 times. She heard that he rejected it in a cold manner every time. Mudok only saw Wayan's face while she was talking. Even Ishilda's angry expression and her tone were exactly like Wayan's. Our boy was certain that he was looking at his lover. The princess noticed that Mudok wasn't saying anything. She called out to him. Mudok came back to reality when he heard her voice. He told her that he will come to the palace. He asked her to tell him the day he should come. The princess was actually about to argue with our boy. She was shocked to hear that he accepted the invitation. She stood up from the chair. Mudok placed his cup down. He reminded her that she came to invite him. The princess realized that he was right. She sat down back and told him that he is correct. Mudok asked her to tell him when he should come to the palace. Ishilda asked him to be there by 11 in the morning. The woman actually felt annoyed that Mudok easily accepted the invitation. She assumed that she was going to have to convince him. She stood up and told him that she has to leave. Mudok clenched his fist and told himself that he will see her when he goes to the palace tomorrow. The only problem our boy had was that Ishilda is a princess. She has the highest status in the country. Mudok wondered about how he was going to get close to her and marry her. He remembered that her father in her past life killed her because she was in love with him. In order to avoid this problem, Mudok realized that he needed to plan everything meticulously. To create the perfect plan, Mudok knew that he will need Edmund's help. The scene shifts and we see Edmund shocked when he hears Mudok mention marriage. Our boy revealed to him that he plans on getting married to the princess. Edmund asked him if he is insane. With a scary tone in his voice, Mudok asked him to repeat what he said. The merchant became terrified. Our boy decided to stay calm. He asked Edmund to tell him why he thinks it is a bad idea. The man revealed to him that Ishilda is the only child of Queen Swan. Unfortunately, the queen is dead. Ishilda is the sole legitimate heir and first in line to the throne. He told our boy that it makes no sense for someone like him who has no proper status to think about marrying the princess. Mudok was annoyed to hear this. Edmund explained to him that he needs to be a prince from another country in order to become the princess's suitor. Even if he is not a prince, he should at least come from a high-ranking noble family. Mudok understood that he needs to attain a status equal to that of the princess or gain great prestige. He needed to do this to aid his plan for marriage. Edmund told him that he might have a shot if he achieves something significant. Mudok stood up. He decided to give it a shot. The merchant stopped him before he could leave. He asked him if he knows the rules that he must follow in the palace. Our boy was surprised to hear that there are rules to follow. Edmund could tell that he did not know. He moved close to his shelf and took out some books. He placed the books talking about proper etiquette on his table. Mudok was shocked to see the amount of books in front of him. Edmund knew that our boy might make a mistake if he lets him go like this. This mistake can affect their business. With a smile on his face, the man assured Mudok that he will thoroughly educate him. Our boy did not understand why the man seemed excited. He picked up a book and asked Edmund to take care of him. Mudok was forced to listen to Edmund's lecture all night long. The next day, we see Mudok dressing in front of the mirror. He stepped out of the store in really nice clothes. He decided to head to the palace. The scene shifts and we see our boy arrive at the palace. He greeted the king in an elegant manner. The king welcomed him with a bright smile. Mudok looked around. He noticed something odd. The officials were in the room. Our boy assumed that he was going to have a private meeting with the king. He did not understand why there were so many people. Ishilda gently whispered to our boy. She apologized to him. She did not intend on scheduling the appointment on a day like this. Due to how flustered she was, Mudok could tell that she wasn't lying. Next to the Duke was his son. Justin asked the princess about why our boy was there. Mudok remembered the boy as the little idiot he beat up. Our boy smiled and glared at Justin. The boy was infuriated. He wanted to curse Mudok. His father asked him to cease his behavior. He asked him if he plans on making a fool out of himself in front of the king. Justin calmed himself and told his father that he understands. Tomalova told Count Slave that Justin must have been through a lot. The Count told him that he is right. Tomalova cleared his throat and asked Mudok to tell him why he suddenly accepted his invitation. He told him that he has been disappointed for some time. Mudok told him that there is a reason for his actions. The king asked him to share his reason. Our boy explained to him that the Roll Merchant Association is currently very busy due to a shortage of manpower. He said that he is the busiest among everyone because he constantly has to produce ice. He told Tomalova that he wanted to get the ice done before meeting him. However, due to the constant barrage of daily orders, the ice he produces keeps running out. Mudok told the king that he kept postponing the invitation until today. Tomalova smiled when he heard this. He told Mudok that he never knew that he had a lot to do. He was not surprised to hear that our boy was busy because ice and ice cream are selling like hot cakes. Mudok thanked the king for his understanding. Our boy was happy to see that the king was not a difficult man. Compared to Chunhak, Tomalova seemed like an angel. The king asked our boy for his name. Mudok told him that he does not use his name. He asked the king to simply call him Magic Swordsman. Tomalova was not comfortable calling our boy with a title. He wondered about what he should do. Mudok felt like the king should just give him a name if he is not comfortable using a title. Ishilda actually told her father that he can personally give Mudok a name. Tomalova was surprised to hear this. Ishilda explained to him that he can bestow our boy with a title. The Duke was surprised to hear this. Tomalova was also surprised to hear this. The princess told him that a title is a perfect reward for someone who saved his life. Duke Icarus smiled when he heard this. He told the princess that she is right. He said that it is a brilliant idea. He believed that it was a fitting reward for the person who saved their king. He said that they need to honor this good deed for Mudok. He told the princess that her idea is really outstanding. Ishilda reluctantly thanked the Duke for his praise. She found it weird to see the Duke praising her. Tomalova told them that they are correct. He said that he cannot turn a blind eye to his benefactor. He stood up and told Mudok that he will give him a title. He grabbed a sword. He said that one word came to his mind when he saw our boy saving him. Tomalova asked Mudok to move closer to him. Our boy moved close to him and went on his knees. Although he did not like the fact that he was kneeling, it did not matter to him as long as he gets to marry the woman of his dreams. Tomalova took out the sword from its sheath. He referred to Mudok as the brave one who saved his life and the lives of his retainers without hesitation. He placed the sword on our boy's shoulder and gave him the title of Baronet along with the name Blizzard. Mudok remembered that blizzard means snowstorm in this world. Tomalova told Mudok that he has granted him permission for his name to be passed down to future generations as long as the Drake Kingdom exists. He referred to Mudok as Baronet Blizzard and asked him to rise. The king placed his hand on Mudok's shoulder. He told him that he would not have been there to do this if he did not save him. He thanked our boy for saving him. With a smile on his face, Mudok told the king that he will make this choice all over again if another situation arises. Duke Icarus reminded the king that Mudok saved his life. He said that they need to give him a land that fits his title. No baronet has ever been given a land. Tomalova told the duke that there will be some opposition to this decision. Icarus said that no one will dare to oppose the king's command. With a serious look on his face, the duke said that he will personally remind anyone who opposes about the weight of a king's decree. Tomalova did not understand the kind of game the duke was trying to play. He asked the other officials if they share the same opinion as the duke. The men seemed to be nervous. They noticed that Icarus was glaring at them. They quickly accepted his suggestion. Tomalova decided to accept the idea. However, he could not think of a land suitable for our boy. The duke told him that they actually have a land for Mudok. He reminded Tomalova about the northern icy lands he mentioned during the meeting they had a few days ago. The king was surprised to hear this. Icarus said that they actually need to send a lord there. He told Tomalova that everything has aligned perfectly. He said that Mudok's name and the northern lands are actually related. He said that a snowstorm in the northern lands is a very good omen. Tomalova realized that this was the duke's plan from the start. He wanted to make Mudok pay for hurting his son and his self-esteem. He already knew that something was strange from the moment that Icarus suggested that they give our boy a title. Ishilda could not believe that they wanted to send Mudok to the northern lands. Our boy wondered if they will really send him there and make him lord. He could tell that the duke wanted to drag him out of the capital because of his son. Our boy was actually happy. He did not see any reason for him to refuse because they were offering him lands. He decided to seize this opportunity to achieve merit and enhance his reputation. This will allow him to close the gap in status between himself and the princess. In the next scene, we see Edmund panicking after hearing that Mudok is going to the northern lands. He told our boy that the snowstorm is constantly raging. He said that avalanches are rampant. The place is extremely cold and the mana is incredibly unstable. He asked our boy if he is really going to the northern lands. Mudok gently took a sip of his tea. He told Edmund that he is going there. He assured him that he will be fine. He told him that he doesn't get cold. Edmund referred to him as Sir Magic Knight. He quickly corrected himself by calling him a baronet. He asked Mudok if he is some kind of yeti. Our boy asked him about what a yeti is. According to Edmund, a yeti is a creature of a legendary tribe that is said to only live in the northern lands. Its tales have been passed down since ancient times. Their form is similar to that of a human. They are nearly 3 meters tall, and the strength of their body is nothing to joke about. They don't feel cold, and they are known to be very violent. Mudok told the man that he finds his story interesting. Edmund said that it might be a legend since no one has ever seen a yeti. He revealed to our boy that people say that the people of the northern lands are warriors capable of defeating 100 men. Because of this, they hate being ruled over and refuse to acknowledge leaders. Mudok laughed when he heard this. He stood up and said that things will be interesting. Edmund did not expect this answer. Our boy explained to him that his fame will rise if he gains recognition from the northern people. Edmund believed that this was a very difficult task. When our boy opened the door, he saw something surprising. He saw his students outside waiting for him. Their eyes were filled with tears. In the next scene, we see Mudok talking to Savina and Leo. Our boy denied their request. He told them that the northern lands is a dangerous place to people like them who have barely started learning martial arts. Savina explained to their master that they still have so much things to learn. She asked him to tell her who will teach them once he leaves. Leo agreed with the girl. Savina bowed her head and begged him to allow them to follow him. Leo was surprised to see this. He quickly copied the girl. Before Mudok could scold them, he saw someone behind him. He saw the princess. Ishilda greeted him. Our boy wondered about why she came. He told her that she doesn't look well. He asked her if something is wrong. Ishilda told him that they can talk once he sends the children away. Mudok quickly turned around and asked his students to leave. Savina and Leo realized that this was their opportunity. Savina asked her master if he will grant their request. Mudok was startled when he heard this. Leo told him that they will leave once he gives them an answer. Mudok decided to accept his pesky student's request. The children were very happy to hear that they were going to follow him. They began to cheer. Savina bowed her head and thanked her master. Our boy asked her to go. Ishilda told Mudok that his disciples are very lively. Our boy said that it is their rebellious spirits that is lively. The princess laughed when she heard this. Our boy was happy to see this. He asked her if she is feeling better now. With a sad look on her face, Ishilda apologized to Mudok. She said that she never expected her father to grant him a title that would send him to the northern lands. Our boy was actually happy to hear the apology. He thought that Ishilda just resembled Wayan. However, they both shared the same kindness. He remembered that Wayan actually apologized to him in the past because of her father's behavior. She also said that it was her fault. Mudok decided to tease Ishilda. He said that he wouldn't have had to go to the northern lands if he did not receive a title. Ishilda was surprised to hear this. With a sad look on her face, the girl said that it is her fault. Mudok found it adorable that she was taking responsibility. He told her that an apology will not change the fact that he still has to go to the northern lands. Ishilda started feeling bad. She asked him if there is anything that she can do to ease his mind. Our boy said that it will be good if he receives a lucky charm or a talisman. The princess asked him about what a lucky charm is. Mudok moved close to her and grabbed her. He told her that a lucky charm is a kiss filled with genuine concern for the other person. Ishilda screamed when she saw our boy close to her. Mudok realized that he teased her too much. He turned around and told her that he needs to prepare for his departure. He asked her to forget what he said. Ishilda was annoyed to see that he was going to leave after saying what he wanted. She believed that he was being rude. When she laid eyes on Mudok's back, she saw him in different clothes. They were the clothes he wore in his former world. The princess felt something wonderful in her heart. She asked Mudok to wait. Our boy turned around and asked her if something is wrong. Ishilda walked up to him and took a closer look at him. She wondered if she was imagining things. Something about Mudok's actions felt familiar to her. She told our boy that she will do it. He was shocked to hear this. He wasn't very serious when he said this. He never expected her to respond this way. He assured her that he is fine. He said that he doesn't want to force anyone into doing things that they don't want to do. Before he could say more, the princess pulled his clothes and dragged him close to her. She gave him a kiss on the lips. Our boy was shocked to feel her lips. The moment she moved back, she used her hood to cover her head. She was quite flustered. She quickly ran away. Mudok just stood there like an idiot. He could not believe that he just kissed the princess. He put himself together and said that he needs to succeed and return. The scene shifts and we are taken to the very cold northern lands. The men in a bar talk about how they have gotten a new lord. They heard that our boy saved the king's life. They heard a rumor saying that Mudok defeated 100 men to save the king. A bald man said that Mudok is actually a sixth circle mage with a swordsmanship that is so strong that even a sword master cannot handle him. The man he was talking to told him that it is not true. He did not see why the king would send someone so powerful there. A man with a huge jacket said that Mudok obviously fell out of favor with Duke Icarus. He slammed his beer on the table. He said that all they heard are simply rumors. The huge man had a bandage wrapped around one of his eyes. He said that our boy will probably run away like the others once they scare him a little bit. In the next scene, we are taken to the mountains in the northern lands. We see a young man and a young lady breathing heavily. They were holding their weapons. The man wondered about where the wyvern was. The moment he said this, a huge shadow covered the girl. It was the wyvern. The huge monster attacked the girl. She managed to block the attack with her axe. The man called out to the girl known as Luia. He quickly ran to her. He asked her if she is all right. The two of them were simply trying to grab some of the wyvern's eggs. They did not know that the monster would chase after them. While she was breathing heavily, she saw something shocking. She saw the wyvern behind Jake. She asked him to look behind him. When the boy turned around, he saw the monster's mouth open. It was about to tear him apart. Jake could tell that it was over for him before the monster could eat him. Someone arrived there. The person turns out to be Mudok. Our boy used his sword to send an attack to the wyvern. The attack cut off its head. Luia and Jake were shocked to see the wyvern's head in front of them. Mudok stood in front of them in his new white clothes. He assured them that things are fine now. Luia helped Jake up. She thanked Mudok for his help. Our boy asked her to not worry about it. He said that he was just performing his responsibility as a lord. Luia did not know what he was talking about. Mudok turned around and told her that he will see her next time. Luia wanted to stop him, but our boy quickly left the area. Luia was shocked to see how fast he was. She did not even catch his movements. Jake noticed something shocking. He told Luia that the wyvern eggs are gone. In the next scene, we are taken to a castle. We see Mudok smiling as he sat on his throne. He did not expect the place to be empty. He asked the man in front of him if the people don't know that today is his inauguration. The man apologized to him. He said that he will send messengers to the village again. Mudok asked him not to do it. He said that it will not change anything. Our boy did not expect them to behave like this today. He now understood why the lords kept getting driven out. He smiled at the situation. He decided to use his own way to take care of things. A few days later, we see the huge man step into the bar. He was shocked to see what was in front of him. All of the men were covered with bruises. He asked them about what happened. He asked them if Mudok did this to them. An older man with a lot of beard said that it was actually our boy. He said that he has to acknowledge Mudok's skills even if he doesn't like him. The bald man said that our boy is quite fast. He said that he couldn't move the moment Mudok touched him. He revealed to the huge man that the pain from our boy's hand technique is indescribable. While they were talking, someone barged in. He said that the scoundrel has arrived. He told them that the scoundrel is in the village square right now. The huge man did not expect Mudok to come there. He said that he will take a look at our boy. The men were happy to see that the greatest warrior of Carolyn was going to step up. They asked the man known as Max to defeat Mudok. At the village square, our boy looked around. There were a lot more people there than he expected. While he was looking around, someone called out to him. The person turns out to be Luia. Our boy was surprised to see her. Before she could move close to him, someone tapped her on her shoulders. When Luia turned around, she saw her father. Her father turned out to be Max. The man asked her about why she is there. Luia told him that she came to look at what was happening because a lot of people were gathered there. Max explained to her that the new lord is there. Luia was surprised to hear about a new lord. She realized that this was why Mudok said that it is his responsibility as a lord. She reminded her father about how she told him that someone saved her when she went to steal the ice wyvern's eggs. Max quickly realized that their new lord saved his daughter's life. This made things complicated for him. He could not fight his daughter's savior. Of course, the real reason he was scared was because Mudok killed the ice wyvern with a single blow. It is a wyvern that is stronger than the regular kind. Even someone as powerful as him could not do something like that. Max realized that he needed to acknowledge our boy. Unfortunately, he couldn't still back down. He stretched out his hand to Mudok and introduced himself as the greatest warrior of Carolyn. Mudok did not shake his hand. He introduced himself as Blizzard. He said that he is the newly appointed baronet of Carolyn. Max told him that he heard that he goes around the village mercilessly beating people up. Mudok said that he was simply teaching those who were trying to rebel a lesson. With a cold gaze in his eyes, he asked Max if he is going to behave like those people. Max told him that he actually has an offer for him. Our boy asked him to tell him his offer. According to Max, Carolyn is an extremely cold place. This is why people have been drinking alcohol to endure the harsh weather since ancient times. The man asked Mudok to have a drinking match with him. Our boy accepted the match. Max asked him to think things through. He revealed to him that the alcohol is so strong that it can burn one's body. Mudok told him that he doesn't care. He told Max that he must recognize him as the Lord and follow him unconditionally if he wins. The other warriors believed that Mudok was insane to make a drinking bet with Max. They referred to the alcohol as Finna and said it is impossible to win Max when it comes to Finna. With a serious look on his face, Max asked our boy to keep his promise. The scene shifts and we are taken to the bar. We see Mudok and Max sitting together. A large amount of alcohol were poured into huge mugs and placed on the table. Max asked our boy if he is sure about this. He told him that it is not too late to back out. With a smile on his face, Mudok said that he cannot go against his words as a lord. He said that they can start now. Max smiled when he heard this. He asked our boy to not regret what he said. In the next scene, we see Max struggling to keep his eyes open. He was feeling dizzy. His daughter and one of his friends had to tap him to keep him awake. His friend asked him if he is okay. He told him that he passed out for a moment. Max couldn't believe what he was hearing. He couldn't believe that the best drinker in Carolyn passed out. Luia was worried about her father. She asked him to give up. Max brushed it off. He told her that he is not yet drunk. He did not want to accept the fact that he was losing. He grabbed a mug and told Mudok that they should have one more drink. Mudok poured him some drink. He advised the man to not overdo things. Max was shocked to see that our boy was drinking like there is no tomorrow. When he tried to pour Mudok a drink, he poured it around the mug. Our boy asked him to focus on pouring the drink into the mug. Max placed his hand on his head. He wondered about how Mudok was still fine. Our boy asked him if he is going to give up now. Max put himself together and told him that he is good. He said that they can continue. The moment he said this, he drank another cup of liquor. Luia and Jake were quite worried when they saw this. Mudok simply drank his liquor in a calm manner. Luia and Jake were shocked to see that he wasn't drunk at all. Our boy dropped the mug on the table. He wondered if he was able to drink well because it had been a while since he had a drink. The moment he thought of this, he heard a loud sound. He quickly looked down. He smiled when he saw what was on the ground. He saw Max on the ground. The man had collapsed from drinking too much. Mudok said that he won. Everyone was shocked to see that Max actually lost. Our boy stood up. He said that everyone must gather at his castle in exactly 5 days. With a serious look on his face, he told them that he wants to see if they are the kind of people who keep their promises. 5 days later, we are taken to Mudok's castle. We see our boy on his throne. He was surprised to see the people in front of him. The people from the tavern were all gathered there. He told them that he did not expect them to come. He did not expect them to actually keep their promise. Max told him that they definitely keep their promises. Before he could go on, Mudok cut him off. Since they all knew who he was, our boy decided to go straight to the point. He told them that he will give them 10 days to prepare to move. Everyone was confused by Mudok's words. Our boy asked them to give him an answer. Luia asked him if they will all come and live in the castle with him. Mudok asked her if she really thinks that all of them will be able to live in the castle. Luia reminded him that he told them to pack their belongings. Mudok told her that he never said that they would live at the castle. With a smile on his face, our boy revealed to them that they are going to migrate to the north. Everyone was shocked to hear this. Mudok revealed to them that he has been wandering around for the past 5 days. He told them that he found a place in the north that could easily support 10,000 people. He said that they will no longer live scattered. He told them that they can live as one. The people were skeptical about Mudok's idea. Max revealed to our boy that the place he is talking about is currently inhabited by groups of ice ogres. Mudok asked him about what ice ogres are. Max told him that they are similar to normal ogres. Our boy asked the man if he is referring to the bald monsters who walk on 2 legs. Max asked him if he has met them. Mudok smiled when he heard this. He revealed to Max that he has eliminated all the ice ogres. Everyone was shocked to hear this. Mudok sat back down. He could not believe that they were worried about the ice ogres. He asked them to get ready to migrate. He assured them that he found a great place. After passing on his message, he asked them to leave. The next day, we see Mudok stretching his body. While he was stretching, someone greeted him. When he turned around, he saw Luia and Jake. Luia explained to him that she was frustrated that she wasn't able to greet him properly. She told Mudok her name. Jake also introduced himself. Our boy told them that he understands why they came to see him. He revealed to them that he was actually going to call for them. The two of them were surprised to hear this. Mudok assured them that it is not a big deal. He asked them to not be too nervous. With a smile on his face, he asked them to follow him. Our boy took the two of them to another part of the castle. When they arrived there, Luia and Jake saw something shocking. They saw the hatchlings of the ice wyvern. Luia was annoyed to see that it was Mudok who snatched the eggs. She asked him if he knows how hard they worked to get them. She asked him about why he did such a thing. With a smile on his face, Mudok asked them to tell him the person who saved them that day. Luia and Jake did not know what to say. When Jake tried to scold Mudok, he cut him off. He asked them to take the ice wyverns away. Luia was shocked to hear this. She asked him if he is certain. Mudok explained to her that he thought about raising them, but they eat too much and are very loud and noisy. He said that he can't think straight with them around. The wyverns were just too much for our boy. Luia told him that there is no point in taking the wyverns now. This is because wyverns perceive the first person they see after hatching as their mother. Mudok was annoyed to hear this. He could not believe that he had to continue taking care of this troublesome monsters. Jake asked him to stop spouting nonsense. He told him that ice wyverns are precious. Luia explained to him that ice wyverns are larger and stronger than most monsters. She told him that he has the opportunity to raise very powerful creatures. Jake said that he would have properly trained the wyverns and comfortably flew to Texten. Mudok asked him about where Texten is. According to Jake, Texten is located 1,000 kilometers west of Carolon. It is the second capital of the Gaia Kingdom. It is a place that doesn't lack anything. Mudok asked Jake if they can fly to such a distant place on the wyverns. Jake said that they should be able to reach there and be back in an hour. Our boy was shocked to hear this. He asked Luia to tell him how he can tame the wyverns. She asked him if he has changed his mind. Mudok said that he has. With a smile on his face, he said that he has come up with a brilliant idea. A few days later, the residents of Carolyn began a large migration under Mudok's instructions. While they were walking, Savina ran up to her master. She called out to him. Mudok turned around. The girl informed him that people are having a hard time. Our boy was not surprised to hear this. This people have been migrating for 3 days straight. Mudok realized that there are still people who don't trust him and are still hesitating. He knew that this people will soon change their minds once they arrive at their destination. He called for everyone's attention. He asked them to hang in there even if it is hard. He assured them that they are almost there. The man with a lot of beards told Mudok that they don't even know where they are going. The bald man said that they are not completely certain that there are no ice ogres there. Mudok pushed his sword into the snow. He reminded them that he already defeated the ice ogres. He asked them to tell him how they can call themselves brave warriors of Carolyn when they are so scared. The moment he said this, he turned around. Savina called out to her master. Mudok told her that this is enough for them to understand. With a smile on his face, he told his student that she will understand everything once she sees the place by herself. In the next scene, we see Mudok and his students arrive at a huge cave with a large entrance. The cave was quite spacious and deep. Leo could tell that this was the place his master was talking about. Mudok told him that he had a hard time finding this place. He said that he liked it a bit. The people were shocked to see how big the cave was. Luia was surprised to see that there was warm water in the cave. While they were looking around, Mudok called for their attention. He told them that the place used to be the hideout for ice ogres. He told them that they will now live in this place. He said that they need to name the place since they will be living there. The people began to cheer when they heard this. Our boy wanted to give the place a name similar to the Northern Sea Palace. While he was thinking, he got an idea. He announced that this place will now be known as the White Castle. The people seemed to like the name. Mudok looked into the cave. He wondered about when the ice wyverns were going to return. The moment he thought of this, he heard a loud sound. He recognized this sound. Inside the cave, we see a cube fire lightning bolts at the wyverns. The monsters were electrocuted. They fainted on the ground. The person who was controlling the cube wondered about why wyverns were inside the cave. Immediately he asked this question. Mudok appeared behind him. He asked him about why a mage is inside the cave. The man was startled when he heard our boy's voice. He quickly turned around. Before he could attack, Mudok appeared in front of him. He used his finger to strike his acupoints. The mage lost control of his body. Our boy grabbed his neck and slammed his body to the ground. With a scary look on his face, he promised the mage that he will not show him mercy a second time. He asked him for his identity. Mudok asked the man to tell him why he attacked his wyverns. The mage noticed that he couldn't move his body. He wondered if he was paralyzed. With a scary look on his face, Mudok told him that his mouth is not paralyzed. He asked him to start talking. The man was scared to see the look on his face. He said that he will talk. He introduced himself as Count Jerome von Karauen. Mudok did not expect the man to be a count. He revealed to him that he is a baronet. The moment he heard this, Jerome realized that our boy is the man known as Blizzard, the person who saved the king's life and received a title and a land. Mudok did not expect him to know him. Our boy realized that something was off. He asked Jerome if he is the former lord who was appointed here and got kicked out by the people. The count told him that he has his circumstances. Mudok told him that it is none of his business. He moved Jerome closer and told him that he has been talking to him freely for a while. The mage told him that he is now aware of his identity, and he knows that they are on the same side. Mudok did not respond to him. Jerome asked him if he said something wrong. Our boy grabbed his head and told him that he is wrong. The man screamed out in pain. Mudok told him that he does not care about equality. He reminded him that he failed to fulfill his responsibility. He told him that he should have turned down the title. Mudok told him that equality doesn't matter to him. The count begged our boy to spare him. Mudok told him that he will give him special treatment for once. He advised him not to think about fighting him again. The moment he said this, Mudok released the pressure on his acupoints. He told Jerome that he can now move his body. The man quickly went on his knees. He was breathing heavily. With a terrifying look on his face, Mudok told him that he will seriously kill him if he says anything stupid. Jerome assured him that he won't do anything like that. Our boy pointed at his wyverns and asked Jerome to heal them. He told him that he can come out after healing them. Jerome was surprised to hear that he had to heal them. Mudok told him that he is excellent in judging people. He told Jerome that he has a lot of guts to use magic in front of the Lord. He asked him to do his best. The moment he said this, he turned around. Jerome tried to stop him, but our boy simply left him there. The Count fell to the ground. He realized that something was seriously wrong. In the next scene, we see Mudok and Jerome in a tent. Our boy told the man that he wants him to send a letter to the king. Jerome was surprised to hear this. Mudok asked him about why he is so surprised. He asked him if it is really difficult to send a letter to the king. Jerome told him that the letter isn't the problem. He reminded Mudok that he asked him to send a letter asking for tax exemption. Our boy explained to him that he needs it because the people are doing their best to make a living and they don't have a lot to spare. Jerome revealed to Mudok that the other nobles will be against it. Our boy asked him about why they will be against it. Jerome said that it will seem unfair from the nobles' perspective. If this bill is passed, the nobles will threaten the king by telling him that they won't pay tax either because their circumstances are also as bad as Mudok's own. Jerome told our boy that the king will refuse his request no matter how much he favors him. Upon hearing this, Mudok became more certain that the nobles are the problem of the kingdom and Duke Icarus is the one controlling them. He asked Jerome to suspend the idea. The Count was relieved to hear this. Mudok moved close to him and shared another idea with him. Jerome was surprised to hear his idea. He asked Mudok if this is possible. Our boy told him that it is not impossible. Jerome said that it might work because it is the same case. Mudok told him that they need to get ready without delay. In the next scene, we see the citizens gather in another part of the cave. Jake asked someone if he knows why their lord suddenly gathered them. Before the person could reply, Mudok asked if everyone is already gathered there. Everyone quickly turned to him. Luia told him that she came armed as instructed. She asked Mudok about why they are gathered there. Our boy said that he will explain now. He ordered everyone to hunt down ice wyverns. He told them that their goal is to get the eggs of the ice wyverns. The warriors were surprised to hear this. They knew that it wasn't easy to get the egg of an ice wyvern. Mudok explained to them that they will create groups filled with 30 people for the sake of their safety. He asked them to focus on getting at least one egg in each group. Jerome gave the warriors papers to show them which team they belonged to. Mudok announced that the team that brings back the largest amount of wyvern eggs will receive 100 gold. The warriors were shocked to hear this. An elf said that he has never imagined getting this amount of money in his life. Jake asked Mudok if he will really give them this kind of reward for the eggs. Max asked Mudok if he will really pay them 100 gold for the eggs. Our boy told him that he never makes a promise that he can't keep. He asked the warriors of Carolyn if they are up to the task. The warriors began to cheer. They asked Mudok to leave it to them. While they were cheering, Mudok ordered Jerome to follow each team for 10 days and keep an eye out for useful people. He said that he will use this people for different tasks later. Jerome asked Mudok if he is thinking of creating a knight's order. Our boy turned to him when he heard this. The man wondered if he said something wrong. Mudok realized that Jerome is a very useful person. Even though he gave him a job when he just joined them, the man has been performing his tasks well. He was also able to see through our boy's intentions from the few things he said. Mudok told Jerome that he is right. He said that he heard that there should be one knight order for the Lord. Jerome told him that he is right. He told him that he needs it a lot because the Lion Knights of the Icarus Duchy are especially powerful. They are so strong that they wouldn't lose even if they fought against the Royal Knights. Mudok smiled when he heard this. He asked Jerome not to worry. He told him that they will soon be the best. Our boy decided to create a unit that is much bigger and stronger than the Snow Ice unit because he didn't want to lose Wayan twice. With a smile on his face, Mudok ordered the warriors to begin the hunt. In the next scene, we see a group chasing a wyvern. Mudok ordered them to attack now. Immediately, he gave the order. Luia, Jake, and the elf jumped down from a cliff. Luia fired her arrows at the monster. Jake used his axe to cut off its tail. Max covered his hand with his energy and used it to hit the monster's head. He asked the second unit to throw the net. The warriors quickly threw the iron net at the monster. The net covered the monster's head and dragged it to the ground. Mudok told Jerome that it is going pretty well. The man said that they have been hunting for days. He said that their hands and feet are already in a perfect sync. Jerome found our boy's idea to be bold. He never thought about stealing the eggs of the ice wyvern and taming it while it is still a baby. If everything goes well, they will be able to transport and sell hunting loots like leather and bones to distant cities with the help of the ice wyverns. Mudok asked his warriors to cheer up. He reminded them that they will be able to get a great reward if they bring back a lot of eggs. The warriors became motivated when they heard this. They decided to continue hunting. Jerome found it amazing that our boy united the uncontrollable Carolyn warriors into one. He could not believe that they were hunting monsters together. While they were watching the warriors, they saw one of them behead a wyvern at a crazy speed. The monster didn't stand a chance. The man's teammates commended him for this. They referred to him as Gale. Our boy was also impressed by his skill. He asked Jerome about who the man is. Jerome opened his book to see his name. He told Mudok that the man is known as Stuart Gale. Mudok believed that the man is famous since he has a nickname. Jerome told him that he is correct. He said that Gale is the hero of the commoners. He raids evil noble houses and gives the raid loot to the poor. Mudok asked Jerome to tell him why a guy like this is here. Jerome revealed to him that Gale was once caught in a trap. He was imprisoned, but he escaped from the prison and wandered all the way here. Mudok could tell that the man was a decent person from the way he interacted with the locals. He asked Jerome to report back to him if he finds anyone else who escaped from prison besides Gale. He told him that they might find another useful person. The man could not believe that his work had increased again. In the next scene, we see Mudok addressing the warriors in the cave. He commended them on their efforts in hunting the ice wyverns. He said that they have collected enough wyvern eggs. He assured them that he will give them the rewards he promised. The warriors began to cheer when they heard this. Max raised his hand to ask Mudok a question. Our boy asked him if something is wrong. The man said that he will like to know why he ordered them to get the wyvern eggs. Mudok realized that everyone was probably wondering why he asked them to gather wyvern eggs. He reminded them that ice wyverns recognize the first thing they see when they hatch as their mother. He said that he wants to tame the monsters using this method. He revealed to the warriors that he plans to use the tamed ice wyverns as transportation. The loaded wyverns will transport their goods to each country. Someone asked Mudok about which goods they will be selling. Our boy said that the first thing he can think of is leather. With a smile on his face, Mudok told them that their main product will be the Ice Ogre tribe. Max and the other warriors were shocked to hear this. Max asked his lord if he is planning to kill them. Luia said that she is not yet ready to die. Mudok ordered his warriors to calm themselves. They quickly closed their mouths. Our boy asked them to tell him the person who wiped out the ice ogre that had been lurking around this white castle not too long ago. The men told him that it was him. Mudok told them that they are correct. He asked them if they really believe that he is going to allow them to become an ogre's food. The warriors realized that things are different from before. They believe that things will work out with their current lord. Mudok asked them if they are interested. The warriors shouted that they are. Our boy told them that he will give them the rewards like he promised. Before he could say anything else, one of his disciples ran to him. The boy called out to him. Mudok told Leo that he is still talking. He asked him about what is happening. Leo apologized to his master. He told him that it is something urgent. While breathing heavily, the boy revealed to Mudok that Savina is dying. Our boy was shocked to hear this. The scene shifts, and we see the other two disciples with Savina. The girl was shivering on the ground. Luffy covered her with a jacket. Sabina thanked him for the jacket. Annie was sad to see that Savina was still shaking. Luffy asked her to hang on. He told her that their master will soon arrive. The moment he said this, Mudok asked them about what is going on. The children quickly turned around when they heard their master's voice. Mudok quickly checked the girl's body. He was shocked to see that her body was in such a terrible condition. Savina told her master that everywhere is so cold. Mudok asked his students to tell him how she became sick. He asked them to tell him in detail. The students explained to him that they were helping Osborne find a place to build a nest for the ice wyvern eggs. While they were looking around, they discovered a huge flower field full of glacial flowers that they had only seen in books. Savina wanted to show their master the flowers, so she took some from the ground. When they returned with the glacial flowers, Savina fell to the ground and began to tremble. The kids were shocked to see this. Leo asked their master about what they should do. He said that Savina might not wake up. Mudok patted him on the head and asked him to calm down. He told him that this won't happen. Our boy decided to take a look at the glacial flower. He was surprised to see the flower. He was certain that this was the snow ice flower. He could not believe that this was what they were calling the glacial flower. This flower is the one and only elixir of the North Sea and the Central Plains. Mudok wondered about how it was in this world. His students asked him to save Savina. Our boy decided to think about the flower later. He asked Leo to carry Savina and follow him. He said that they are going to the training ground. Leo quickly carried Savina to the training ground. Our boy asked him to put her down on a bed. The boy gently placed her down. Mudok commended him for this. He told his disciples that he is going to start treating her now. He asked them not to enter the room until he gives them the permission to step in. The students stepped out of the room. Before closing the door, Luffy begged his master to save Savina. Our boy assured him that he will. He looked at the snow ice flower in his hand. The glacial flower is known as a mysterious flower that endlessly emits cold air. However, in the northern sea palace where Mudok lived, the fruit of this flower was a priceless elixir. The extreme cold of the flower makes it difficult to obtain the fruit. However, it is a different story for someone like Mudok who has mastered ice chi. Our boy blew some cold air on the fruit to refine it. Savina collapsed because her ice chi wasn't strong enough to withstand the cold. Mudok put the fruit into the girl's mouth. He poured his energy into her and called out to her. He asked her to open her eyes. The moment she heard this, Savina opened her eyes and raised her head. She was surprised to see her master in front of her. As our boy poured his energy into his student, he spoke to her through telepathy. He asked her to sit up straight and try to circulate her chi. Savina accepted his order. She quickly began to circulate her energy. The cold energy went round her body. Mudok noticed that the cold chi in her body has completely stabilized thanks to the circulation of her internal energy. While she was circulating her energy, Savina suddenly fell on the bed with her eyes open. Mudok realized that she has fallen asleep. He believed that she should have closed her eyes. He noticed that her internal energy has significantly increased compared to before. The fruit worked better than he expected. Mudok realized that he can increase the intensity of her training if her energy continues to increase. Before starting the training again, our boy wanted the girl to take him to the flower field, where she found the snow ice flower when she woke up. He realized that he might be able to achieve his goal much sooner than expected. Later in the day, Savina woke up after sleeping for a while. After harvesting the ice wyvern's eggs, the White Castle underwent a major reorganization. Mudok checked the list Jerome gave him and organized his own elite knight order known as the Blizzard Knight Order. He promised to raise the warriors as powerful men that belonged to the Blizzard Knight Order. Schuart was appointed as the captain of the order. Mudok created a school and a hospital in this new place. He also created restaurants, bars, and clothing stores. Everything was going according to our boy's plan. The training facility was adjusted according to people's abilities. In the next scene, we see Mudok and Jerome talking. Our boy told the mage that he has to align people with the organization if he wants to improve it. The mage told him that he is right. Osborne was placed in the White Castle security forces and Jerome was appointed as our boy's assistant. Jerome reminded Mudok that he still has to teach people magic. Our boy asked him if he doesn't want the position. The man said that he doesn't. Mudok called him a bastard and asked him to repeat his answer. He threw some paper at him. Jerome could not say anything. He felt like he should be given 1,000,000 gold for his work. Mudok said that he wants to create a patrol unit. The patrol unit is in charge of guarding the exterior of the White Castle. It is also responsible for scouting Carolyn and bringing in scattered residents. Mudok said that he will be the captain of this unit. He decided to create another armed group called the Wyvern Knights. Jake begged Mudok to allow him join this group. Our boy did not know if he was making the right decision. For now, there weren't any wyverns big enough to carry adults, so the group was put on hold. Once the number of Wyvern Knights is finalized, the remaining eggs will be used by the Carolyn merchants. Mudok told Luia that it is a secret that he is the chief of the merchants. He told the girl that she will act as his proxy. Luia accepted his offer. A few days later, we see Jerome running somewhere. He was carrying a briefcase. He remembered that Mudok told him that he will reduce his workload. He wondered about how troublesome things will be today. While thinking, he stepped into a room. He apologized for being late. Max asked him not to worry. He said that the meeting just started. When Jerome looked around, he noticed something odd. Savina was also in the room. He remembered that the girl was unwell recently. He wondered why she was there. Mudok asked him to sit down. He asked Osborne to continue his report. Osborne said that the security unit hasn't been around for a long time, and yet they have already locked up 20 people in prison. The problem is that more than half of these people are fugitives who came from outside. Max stood up and told his lord that these people are criminals. He asked Mudok to keep them locked up so that they don't cause any trouble. Mudok asked him if they should start by locking him up. He reminded the man that he is the main culprit of the rebellion that drove out the former leaders like Jerome. Max said that this is different. He said that it was self-defense to protect Caroline from the central nobles. Mudok asked him if he considers his actions as a noble struggle and Schuert's actions as petty theft. Max realized that he was being irrational. He apologized to Schuert for his actions. The man asked Max to not forget what causes the suffering of the commoners. He told him that they will discuss this later since they are in a meeting. Mudok did not expect Max to be so narrow-minded. He asked the others if they have another opinion to share. Savina asked him if she can share her opinion. Our boy asked her to go ahead. Savina told Mudok that the villagers must have a terrible view of fugitives for Max to react like this. Our boy agreed with her. The girl reminded him that they have to start ogre hunting tomorrow. Mudok asked her about what this has to do with anything. Savina suggested that they put the prisoners at the forefront of the hunt. Everyone was shocked to hear this. Mudok actually liked the idea. He asked Savina to keep talking. Guys, we have come to the end of our video. If you guys want more of this recap, let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button for more recaps. See you guys later.